Tonight, in this newscast, we talk about the rising of fuel scarcity in Yaoundé in the central region of Cameroon and how vehicle owners are coping in the wake of the situation, and also Cameroon's corruption situation unchanged. A report by Amnesty International today has ranked the country as 144th most corrupt country in the world today. And also we take you to the southwest region of Cameroon, where the mayors of Kumba 1 and 2 have been urged to do all they can to curb rising insecurity. It is 6 p.m. and you're watching the Primetime Newscast on Equinox Television. We thank you so much, viewers, for joining us tonight. We begin right here in the central region of Cameroon as we announce in the headlines. Shortage of fuel hits that part of the country, and our correspondent visited some filling stations and now tells us that vehicle owners as well as drivers are complaining that the situation has been going on for more than 1 week now. Let's have the details of the report with Roland Ako.
At many Yaoundé petrol stations, out of use is the message for drivers who want to fill their cars with a Super brand of petrol. Super petrol is not available for over a week now in Yaoundé, and the acute shortage is an embarrassment to many consumers.
This is number 3 or 4 station that we have come there this morning and we cannot find fuel. Now I want to travel, I cannot travel because of fuel.
Where the rare commodity is available, consumers have to line up to be served. And the consumption rate is limited, as at the Bastos Stradec petrol station, nobody is allowed to consume fuel for more than 20,000 francs CFA. The rationing decision, according to management, is to enable everybody to at least have a bit of fuel. The shortage of petrol at many Yaoundé gas stations is blamed on dry tanks at the Petroleum Storage Company, the SCDP. The manager in charge of storage refused to comment on the shortage when we stormed the company. A blockage which makes it hard for us to inform the public on what exactly is the problem with Super petrol in Yaoundé. We could not also confirm allegations that the shortage stems from Sonara, the national oil refinery company.
Fuel scarcity that hits the central region of Cameroon, almost a similar situation here in the littoral region. Now here in the country's economic capital, Douala, businessmen and women are foreseeing a decline in economic activities during this festive period, that is this month of December, after containers of goods have remained stocked at the autonomous port. The situation has been partly blamed on ongoing rehabilitation works at the port, as Jacques Ekwekinge tells us in the following report.
The Douala Port, which is presently the lone waterway into the country where goods get to and from Cameroon, has been unable for weeks now to get rid of the numerous containers that come in on almost a daily basis. Authorities at the Douala Port say the delay is due to some rehabilitation work being carried out at the dock where the big vessels transporting containers usually anchor. The port authorities, however, say the rehabilitation is very important if continuity is to be assured at the Douala port. It should be noted that the port of Douala is the lone port in Cameroon which, if not properly maintained, its breakdown would be of great economic loss to Cameroon. Despite the slowdown in activities at the port, transit officials like Fuya Grigobert admit that the rehabilitation works are causing them enormous financial losses, as they have to pay extra fees either to keep the vessels for a longer period or to offload their containers at other ports in neighboring countries. This situation has also affected importers who have been unable to get possession of their containers by slowing down their businesses, especially during this end-of-year festive period. As the rehabilitation work continues at the Douala port, no duration on when the work will end was given. This incident is a clear indication that the Kribi and Limbe Deep Sea Port projects are a must-realized project to help facilitate port transactions in Cameroon.
Now let's talk about Operation Peacekeeping Mission in the Central African Republic. Several French troops on transit to Bangui could be spotted at the Douala Autonomous Port. That was today by our reporters. They are on a peacekeeping mission, as highly indicated, in Jotodia's country, or Michel Jotodia's country, that has been or remained unstable since he took over power from Francois Bozize. Jacques Okekinge once again tells us more.
The worrying security situation in the Central African Republic leaves no country in the Central African sub-region indifferent, much less Cameroon, which shares a significant border with that country, which is at the brink of a genocide. The country has gradually sunk into chaos since the Seleka, a coalition armed rebels, overthrew President Francois Bozize in March. The objective set for the French troops in the Central African Republic is to restore law and order until the MISCA Strong African Mission, made up of 36,000 soldiers, become fully operational. The intervention of French troops will be important in order to bring order to this ravaged country that is at risk to the neighbors, especially Cameroon. One of the first objectives of the French army will be to secure the road linking Bangui to Cameroon to ensure the passage of trucks carrying supplies. It should be noted that Michel Jotodia, the chief of the Seleka movement, imposed himself as interim president, but has been unable to regain the majority Christian areas to come under control of the insurgents Muslims who engaged in activities against the local population.
Still here in the country, economic activities are gradually returning to normal along the Cameroon Central African Republic border, where a standoff occurred between security forces from both countries. Residents of BT, who have been living in perpetual fear, are bent on upholding the diplomatic ties between both countries, as Ambe Fokwa tells us in the following report.
Despite the looming threat of insecurity that has enveloped Mbiti of the Kadey division in the East region, residents of the locality have managed to continue with their day-to-day activities. Located on the border of Cameroon shared with the Central African Republic, Mbiti plays a unique role in commerce between the two countries. The town witnesses an influx of trade between merchants of Cameroon and the Central African Republic, who are involved in transactions covering a wide scale of foodstuffs ranging from rice and flour to farm produce, beverages, and livestock. Granted, the Central African Republic is one of the continent's landlocked states like Chad to Cameroon's northeastern border, the fatherland accounts for nearly 80% of its imports through the Douala port. Having the extremely reliant relationship on Cameroon, the governments of both states have held priority in maintaining diplomatic relations in the face of the recent upsurge in militant activity along their shared border being attributed to the Seleka faction of the Central African Republic military. Inhabitants of the locality have expressed their concern over the recent attacks, but in confidence with the decision by France to increase its military in the Central African Republic and the ongoing increase in security forces by Cameroon, merchants ultimately feel safe enough to continue their trade.
Now, disabled persons here in the economic capital Douala say they face difficulties realizing some of their projects due to limited finance. They are calling on the creation of a center to expose their finished products, and it was during a workshop that was organized in honor of this category of persons. Pamela Ndukong tells us more.
Members of the Association of Active Handicaps are encouraged to participate fully in societal life through their different projects, which is mostly handwork production, some of which are tailoring, iron mending, furniture, hairdressing, just to name a few. To successfully realize these projects, the disabled persons are faced with financial difficulties to buy materials for production.
We need heavy capital, we need money, we need finance, and we need to produce what we can do, and we need a market. So that's the problem. We need finance, we need market.
Another challenge faced by active handicaps is an open door to market their finished products. The disabled persons say they are blessed with talents to produce very beautiful items, but have no center to expose these finished products to the general public.
Also, I am a producer of cane. That is my department. The one who is producing embroidery, he has a health problem. When
In Africa, disability is generally seen as a curse in communities. All this can be changed if these persons are offered a chance to demonstrate their talents. National Day of People with Disability is celebrated every December 3rd. The observance of the day aims to promote an understanding of disability issues and mobilize support for the dignity, rights and well-being of persons with disability.
Pamela Ndukong ending the report now. The position of Cameroon on the 2013 report of Amnesty International has remained unchanged, as we announced in the headlines of this newscast. The anti-graft body ranked the country 144th most corrupt countries in the world, and a position Cameroon has so far been occupying since the year 2012. The report was made public today in Yaoundé Centre region of Cameroon. We surely shall be coming back to that in a subsequent newscast. Now we take you right away to the southwest region of Cameroon, where CAM is yet to return to Mwanga. That is a village in the town of Boya, after some individuals were involved in land and succession disputes. The incident left several property destroyed, and Derek Jato, a correspondent in that part of the country, spoke to the victims as well as the accused. His report.
Christmas Day, they want to me. I don't cook top for my head. I can't go get longer job before you woman cook for your house. But today don't turn for my back.
The house of this woman was set on fire at 3:30 a.m. in Mwangai, a village in Boya subdivision. Peter Yonde Lyonga, the father of the house, told us that he escaped with his family through the back door. The said gang first attacked this house last October 13, 2013. 2 months after, they came and set the house ablaze. But who is behind this act?
A surprise, I see a group of people will be organized by Kombe Elongo.
An accusation that the president of Munyakot area denied.
No chief in Moyakot area can accept that.
To Edward Elongo, there is a manhunt after him because the Buya Paramount Chief Endele recognizes him as the heir to the Mwangai throne.
Paramount Chief presented me after the reading of the will of the late chief, traditionally as a successor to the late chief, Longan Chief. So from then, Gombe has now indulged into act of violence. He's haunting my life.
They suspended Mr. Elongo Augustine, reserve his comment. According to Article 5 of the Prefectorial Order number 42 of 2013, suspending Mr. Elongo Augustine as the chief of Mwangai village, the divisional officer for Boya was charged with the implementation of this order. But some chiefs are with the opinion that the administration of Fako division was misled on the chieftaincy succession in Mwanga village.
We want the administration to set up Chief Augustine Elongo is the chief of Mwangai.
The problem of succession disputes there in the southwest region with Derek Jato, our correspondent. Derek, we stay with you, but this time around in the town of Kumba, where municipal executives or council executives in that part of the country have been told to tackle the problem of insecurity, urban disorder, as the southwest region prepares to host the 50 years of Cameroon reunification. The SDO for Meme gave the instructions while commissioning the mayors of Kumba 1 and 2 into their functions. Derek Jato.
Kumba is one of the towns that is highly prepared to host the guests that will be coming for the 50th anniversary celebration to take place in Boya anytime this December. That is why during the installation of the mayor of Kumba 1 Council, Mr. Ebako Ebel, and Mr. Ndobekang Martins of Kumba 2 and their deputies, the supervisory authority, Senior Divisional Officer for Meme Division, Mr. Aman David, sent out his address on security. The mayor has as a must-do assignment to make sure that the 50th anniversary guests are not in any way assaulted or insulted when they come to town.
You know what is currently going on in Fiango. when somebody comes to Kumba, they take him on a motorbike to assault him in Kosala. Those are things which can spoil the name of our great town. That's why I recommend the mayor to work hard with the divisional officer and the forces of law and order to curb that criminality in the area. Everybody knows that the reunification headed by the head of state in Buea is upcoming, and we have to reinforce the cleanup of our towns.
The Kumba 1, 2, and 3 councils now all in the hands of the Social Democratic Front Party. The mayors were reminded to work hand in glove with the Kumba City Council for development. The senior divisional officer further added that their electorate are waiting for their developmental campaigns promises to be matched with action. Top among being water crisis that is showing no sign of living soon. Having the highest schooling population in the southwest region, the cry for sufficient classrooms, the Kumba people say should also be a priority.
That is the installation ceremony of the mayors of Kumba 1 and 2 as Buea prepares to host the reunification celebration. They have been told to maintain calm and security in that part of the country. Now we take you right away to the west region of Cameroon, precisely in the Menua division. The senior divisional officer in the Menua has called on municipal authorities under his area of command to improve on their council areas and also combat rising urban disorder. He made a request during the installation ceremony in which 6 council executives were commissioned into their functions. Ambe Fokwa has the details.
Marche Joseph Bertrand, Senior Divisional Officer for the Menua Division, arrived to commence the installation ceremony of municipal officials under his jurisdiction in the West region. Mayors representing 6 councils were officially installed alongside their deputy assistants in front of state officials and a jubilant crowd. Alliterating the priorities of each mayor and their supporting executives, SDO Marche Bertrand addressed each council authority in separate acknowledgement ceremonies, requesting improvement of road infrastructure from Madame Tapamo Adrienne, the mayor of Fukwe, better management of the forest reserve in the Sanctu municipality by Mayor Guy Effon, and construction of improved council infrastructure by Mayor Kenfak of the Fongo Tongo constituency. The mayor of Donfak Baudelaire and Mayor Nzobung Thomas of Kungni were called upon to develop the urban infrastructure of their municipalities, while Mayor Fozang Jean-Pierre, taking control of Penka Michel, was told to work in collaboration with the local law enforcement officials to fight the trafficking of marijuana through the subdivision. The presentation of each mayor and deputy with their municipal attributes officially marked them as servants of the state. Their priorities over the next 5 years will be to meet up with the expectations of the population and address the issues laid out by the senior divisional officer.
We take you right away to the southwest region of Cameroon to talk about the Fako Lawyers Association that today entered day 2 of their strike action. And it should be noted that they are denouncing what they called humiliating treatment that is meted on some of their colleagues. The men of law went bitter when a senior advocate of the Bar Council and 2 other lawyers were thrown to jail by the DO for Tico for interrupting the convoy of the senior divisional officer for Fako, Zhang Trua. The advocates converged on Limbe that was at the weekend under the supervision of the president of the Bar Council, that is Barrister Sama Francis, where they termed the protest demonstration as a tool to eradicate the several abuses that is on their right. The Bar Council have resolved to ground their toes just for 2 days. And it should be noted that the strike action so far started yesterday, and that does it for this edition of the Primetime Newscast on Equinox Television. We thank you so much, viewers, for having joined us. But before we go, a recap of our major headlines. Tonight, we talked about weeks of forest scarcity in the center region of the country, and we took a look at how vehicle owners are coping in the wake of the situation, and also Cameroon's corruption situation unchanged. According to a report by Transparency International today, the country has so far been ranked 144th most corrupt country in the world, and also the base of Kumba 1 and 2, that is in the southwest region of the country, urge to combat rising insecurity. That does it for this edition of the Primetime Newscast on ATV. Up next is the Zone 2.